What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com, and welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby updates. Well, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'll talk a little bit of the latest news of the Kentucky Derby, what happened over the weekend, what's going to come this weekend, and then I'll also give you my top 5 horses for the Derby as of now. So a little bit something different for you. We do Derby videos every week. We're going to add a little bit to it. So what happened last week is kind of going to be what we'll kick it off with here. And, of course, the Mucho Macho Man Stakes and the Smarty Jones Stakes were contested last weekend. Well, I guess Monday, which was a New Year's Day. That was part of last weekend. We'll start with the Smarty Jones Stakes because it did offer Kentucky Derby points. And listen, I thought it was a very nice win for Catching Freedom in the Smarty Jones. I do not have the horse in the top 5, but I do have the horse now ranked in my top 20. I put him at number 11 after that win. He was pretty green. I mean, you could tell as he turned for home in the stretch, it's like, okay, I think Catching Freedom's going to win this race. And then he just kind of stalled out. But once he got going again, he passed him pretty easily. I don't know what was really in front of him. I'm not sure that field was that great, but coming out of that race, I'll take Catching Freedom. I think he's decent enough. So, like I said, he debuts on the list at number 11 on my current top 20. Other horses, the Mucho Macho Man Stakes was at Gulfstream Park. The winner was Otello, I should say, Christophe Clement trained horse. I thought Otello ran pretty darn well. He was boxed in with no place to go for much of that race. Got stopped a couple of times on the turn, and kind of just felt like, boy, what a tough luck loser Otello's going to be. But when he finally got clear, he got going in a big way, and he closed up nice right at the shadow of the wire to get the job done. So Otello, a nice race from him as well. I put him at number 12 on my list, so not on the top 5, but at number 12, I thought he ran pretty well. Second place finisher was First World War. Perfect Trip, just didn't win. Got second. I think will kind of improve as they get a little bit longer in distance. I kept him at number 19 on the debut rankings. It'll come out this week at racingdudes.com. I thought he was okay as well. But look, Perfect Trip didn't get it done. That's not good, but he should get better as they go longer. A couple of other horses that you might want to keep an eye on that ran over the weekend, not in stakes races. What about Born Noble? Ran in a maiden special weight at Gulfstream Park. Born Noble, trained by Todd Pletcher. Really solid pedigree for this horse and a great debut buyer of 93 as he just kind of flied home. He was pretty green as well. He was kind of all over the place on the stretch, but he was galloping away as he was kind of swerving in and out. So I thought Born Noble was very impressive. Keep an eye on him. And also at Santa Anita, Imagination. It took 3 times, but the third time was a charm. He broke his maiden at Santa Anita on New Year's Day, actually. I thought he ran pretty well in the spot. And look, I mean, he turned for home. There was a horse kind of coming up to him. Jock took a peek under his arm there, saw that horse, and then kind of just gave Imagination a little bit of a reminder to keep running, and he kind of galloped away. So pretty good race from him. Of course, he is trained by Bob Baffert. That is a little bit of a problem, obviously, when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. But, I mean, keep Imagination on your radar. I thought he looked good over the weekend. All right, coming up this week will be the Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct. It's not great. Short field of 5 horses here for this one, so we'll see how that shakes out. Drum roll, please, for Brad Cox. Finished third in the rims, and he'll probably be the favorite in that race. So we'll see if we get a contender. I'm kind of skeptical. We also have the San Vicente. It's not a Kentucky Derby prep race, but it might as well be. I think we'll get a pretty good field there at Santa Anita for the San Vicente. It'll draw later in the week. We'll have a preview of that one as soon as the field comes out. All right, to the top 5 now. We'll go through these. At number 5, I've put Track Phantom at number 5 this week. Had a solid win at the fairgrounds last time out in the Gunrunner Stakes. I thought I'm not saying he's going to be like an Epicenter type, but he kind of looked like style-wise that he could be an Epicenter type of horse. Down at fairgrounds, he just kind of stalked the pace, but had a really good early, kick as far as getting himself in good position, but not really like flying, like not being aggressive, just naturally fast, a high cruising speed, and then just kind of took over the top of the stretch. Track Phantom, that was pretty impressive. I would keep a strong eye on him. The more I watched the race, the more I was impressed. I think if he can kind of build like Epicenter, let's say, did, and kind of just get better each race, he's gonna be a threat. Again, not saying he's Epicenter, but kind of reminded me of him as far as his running style, and of course winning on the fairground circuit. So Track Phantom at 5. Number 4 is Door Knock, of course, winning the rims and stakes, and in crazy fashion, pass at the top of the stretch, looked like he was going to get blown away, re-rallied and won. I've said it before. I don't really know what to make of it. I think he's pretty green, but I think he's talented. So I've got Dornoch at number 4. El Capi, number 3 for me. Only one race, but it was a sensational debut at Aqueduct on Remsen Day, where he earned a 99 buyer and looked fantastic. Back in training now, kind of, never really left training, but back kind of looking like he's getting serious about making his seasonal debut. So El Capi at number 3. We're kind of in a holding period until we see him stretch out. I think he's got a ton of talent, so I'm pretty excited about him. Number 2 on the list is Nisos, 2 blowout wins, and just looked incredible doing it. Haven't seen him go 2 turns yet, but I think he'll be okay. But the Bob Baffert, factor of will he be able to run in the Kentucky Derby? Obviously, right now he cannot, and that doesn't look to change. So Nisos will have to change trainers for the Derby, but as far as talent, he's looked very good, so we'll just kind of monitor what happens with him. And the number 1 is Fierceness. Obviously, 2 brilliant performances, a brilliant debut, and then just an eye-catching, dominant Breeders' Cup Juvenile win. But he did run pretty poorly in the Champagne, so he has shown to be consistent in 3 starts, but that Breeders' Cup Juvenile was just much, much better than anything we've seen so far. So he's number 1 once again this week. So number 5, Track Phantom. Number 4, Dornoch. Number 3, El Capi. Number 2, Nisos. And number 1, Fierceness. All right, that'll do it for this week's Kentucky Derby update. I'll be back next week with an updated top 5 and an update on what's going on the trail. So we'll see you next week.